Ladies, today we are here to challenge an age old belief that has shaped much of our lives, the idea that women must be nice in order to be loved, accepted, or valued. For too long, we have been conditioned to believe that our worth comes from our ability to please others, to keep the peace, and to put everyone else's needs before our own. But today, I'm here to tell you that it's time to break free from this limiting pattern. Throughout our lives, many of us have been conditioned by societal norms, family expectations, and cultural influences to behave in a certain way. Women, in particular, are often taught from a young age to be kind, agreeable, and self sacrificing, even at the expense of their own well being. These messages can create a pattern of behavior where the act of being nice becomes an automatic response, almost like a programmed behavior that no longer serves our highest purpose. But when we simply go through life following these established patterns, we begin to lose touch with our true selves. We start to suppress our emotions, our desires, and our unique expressions, all in an effort to maintain the facade of being nice. It can feel like we are walking through life as mere actors, playing a role that has been assigned to us by external forces. The challenge with this is that these behaviors are not born from authentic choice. They are often a result of deeply ingrained conditioning that we've adopted without ever questioning whether it truly aligns with who we are at the core. Over time, these patterns can create a deep sense of dissatisfaction, frustration, and even resentment because we are no longer living according to our authentic selves. Instead, we are living for others, performing the role we have been taught to play. Breaking free from these old patterns requires awareness. It requires recognizing that we are more than the sum of our conditioned responses. We must come to understand that being nice doesn't always equate to being true to ourselves. In fact, being overly nice can sometimes lead us into compromising situations where our needs and boundaries are constantly overlooked or violated. To break free from these patterns, we must consciously choose to step into new ways of thinking and behaving ways that align more closely with our authentic values and desires. This requires us to challenge the beliefs and narratives that have been passed down to us and to make the courageous decision to rewrite our own story. It's about embracing the power of self awareness and giving ourselves permission to live and act with genuine authenticity. When we stop being nice for the sake of others, we open up space for true connection, for deeper relationships, and for the manifestation of our highest potential. We no longer allow external influences to dictate our behavior, but instead, we become the conscious creators of our lives. The way we think and feel has a profound impact on our reality. Every thought, every emotion we experience carries a frequency and energy that influences how we show up in the world and what we attract into our lives. When women remain stuck in old patterns of behavior, especially the ones shaped by societal expectations of being nice, they are often unconsciously repeating thoughts and emotions that don't serve them. These thoughts, filled with self doubt or fear of disappointing others, become the lens through which they view themselves in the world. The truth is, most of our habitual thoughts and feelings are wired into our subconscious mind. We often think the same thoughts day in and day out, many of which are based on past experiences or old narratives we've adopted. These thoughts then create a ripple effect on our emotions, which in turn influence our behaviors. If a woman is constantly thinking she must be nice to be loved or accepted, that belief will trigger emotions of anxiety or fear when she faces situations where she has to assert her own needs or desires. These emotional responses become ingrained in her, and over time they dictate her actions, keeping her stuck in a cycle that prevents her from evolving into the fullest version of herself. To truly break free, women must recognize that their thoughts and emotions are not permanent, they are malleable. What we think and feel is not who we are, it's simply the result of what we've been conditioned to believe and how we've been programmed to react. This realization gives us the power to shift our inner world. By becoming aware of the thoughts we hold and the emotions we experience, we can consciously choose to redirect them toward more empowering and authentic expressions of who we are. When we begin to change our internal dialogue, we begin to transform our emotional state. Instead of reacting from a place of fear or self doubt, we start to think in terms of self empowerment, confidence, and self worth. We recognize that being nice for the sake of pleasing others no longer aligns with our core truth. We are not here to live our lives based on the approval of others. By shifting our thoughts and emotions, we begin to break free from the energetic patterns that limit us and start to attract situations, relationships, and opportunities that are in alignment with our highest potential. This transformation begins within as we consciously choose to rewrite the mental and emotional stories that no longer serve us. True empowerment comes from deep self awareness. It is an internal process, a journey toward understanding and connecting with the essence of who we are. When women focus too much on being nice or pleasing others, they often disconnect from their true selves in the process. They begin to shape their identities based on what others expect of them, leaving behind the authentic desires, passions, and ambitions that reside deep within. Self awareness is the key to breaking this cycle. It's about becoming mindful of how we think, how we feel, and how we respond to the world around us. By developing a deeper connection with ourselves, we can start to separate our true identity from the roles that society and others try to impose on us. This awareness allows us to realize that being nice isn't an inherent part of who we are, but rather a behavior shaped by external influences. When we identify these influences, we can begin to discern which of them align with our true values and which ones are limiting our growth. Women are often conditioned to put others first, to sacrifice their own needs and desires in favor of keeping the peace or being liked. But this pattern of behavior is unsustainable in the long run. The more we suppress our own voice, the more we lose touch with our sense of self worth and individuality. This is where self awareness plays a critical role. By becoming attuned to our own needs, desires, and boundaries, we can begin to understand the importance of prioritizing ourselves. It's not about being selfish, it's about recognizing that we are worthy of our own attention and care. When we start to honor ourselves, we stop seeking validation from outside sources and begin to validate ourselves from within. Self awareness also helps us tap into our inner strength. It is through this awareness that we realize we have the power to choose how we respond to situations, how we interact with others, and how we navigate the challenges life presents. We no longer feel helpless or at the mercy of external expectations, but instead, we embrace the full spectrum of our own power. When we know who we truly are, we step into a state of confidence, clarity, and authenticity. This inner clarity helps us make decisions that align with our true desires, whether it's in our relationships, careers, or personal goals. Being self aware means we stop living for others' approval and start living for our own fulfillment. It means honoring our intuition, standing firm in our values, and making choices that nurture our well being. Self awareness opens the door to greater possibilities and personal freedom, allowing women to step into their full potential with courage and authenticity. By learning to trust themselves, women can break free from the pattern of being nice and instead embrace a life led by their own truth. Creating a new reality begins with the conscious choice to step away from old, limiting patterns and beliefs. For women who have spent much of their lives striving to be nice and fitting into prescribed societal roles, this process is about more than just changing external behaviors. It's about transforming the very foundation of how they think, feel, and perceive the world. When we change our internal world, our thoughts, beliefs, and emotional responses, we naturally begin to change the way we experience reality. The first step in creating a new reality is to acknowledge that the life we are currently living is a reflection of the thoughts and emotions we have been holding for a long time. If we are stuck in a cycle of people pleasing or self sacrifice, we are likely unknowingly reinforcing these behaviors through our internal dialogue. To break free, we need to challenge these deeply ingrained beliefs and replace them with new, empowering ones that better reflect our true selves. This requires us to become aware of the repetitive thoughts that no longer serve us and replace them with thoughts that align with our aspirations and desires. Changing our thoughts also means changing how we feel. Our emotional responses to life situations are often driven by our thoughts and beliefs. If a woman believes that she must always be nice to be loved or valued, her emotional state may be dominated by fear, anxiety, or self doubt. These emotions create an energetic pattern that governs her actions, keeping her stuck in a cycle of trying to meet others' expectations. To create a new reality, she must start to feel differently. This means embracing feelings of self worth, confidence, and love that come from within rather than relying on external validation. As women begin to change their internal landscape, they begin to see the world through a different lens. When we shift our thinking and emotional state, we begin to attract different experiences into our lives. Our relationships, our careers, and our opportunities all start to align with the new, empowered version of ourselves. This doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent effort, the changes in our thoughts and emotions begin to reshape our external reality. And by creating new neural pathways in our brain through repetitive, positive thinking and emotional reframing, we start to rewire the way we interact with the world. Living a life based on authentic choices rather than automatic reactions opens up new possibilities. Women who stop being nice and instead choose to live from a place of self awareness and empowerment create a ripple effect in all areas of their lives. They become the architects of their own destiny, creating opportunities that align with their true desires. The more they trust themselves, the more they tap into the power of their thoughts and emotions, and the more they align with their true purpose. This is how a new reality begins by changing how we think, how we feel, and how we choose to interact with the world. As women step into their full potential, they create a life that reflects their most authentic selves. In conclusion, breaking free from the pattern of being nice allows women to reconnect with their true selves, empowering them to create a life of authenticity and fulfillment. By becoming aware of their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, they can rewrite old narratives and embrace their inner strength. As they shift their internal world, they begin to manifest a new reality, one that aligns with their deepest desires and values. This journey of self awareness, empowerment, and transformation opens the door to a life filled with confidence, clarity, and limitless possibilities. The power to change lies within each woman.